wheelchair, Jimmy, and we're rolling through Puerto Montt, Chile today. We're going to take a little day tour over to Puerto Varas, the Petrohue River, and the Lake District. Puerto Montt is located about halfway down the Chilean coast, and it is stunning as you arrive on the cruise ship with the mountains bordering the shoreline. You know, it's an anchorage port, so ship tenders are needed to access the Puerto Montt Pier. The port is very scenic, and it's a spectacular tender boat ride over to the pier. And you catch the tour buses and vans directly from the pier. You know, the actual town is about 3/4 of a mile along a very scenic waterfront. It's an easy walk or roll into town along a beautiful shoreline with views over the snow-capped Andes Mountains. Now, I saw no accessible transit into town. Now, the town itself is an old port city of about 130,000 with a town square, a few festive activities, and local shopping opportunities. You know, it's also the setting where in 1987 Pope John Paul II offered a mass which is commemorated with a huge cross on the mountaintop. We traveled in a small tour group over to the Lake District, which goes through Puerto Varas. It's a beautiful drive, and in total, it takes about 90 minutes to the Vicente, Perez, Rosales National Park along the Petrohue River. You know, we made a brief stop at one of the largest lakes in Chile. I wish I could pronounce its name, to take pictures of the lake and the snow-capped Osorno volcano and a sister volcano which erupted in 2015, and of course, pictures of the llamas. The visitor center at the Petrohue River Falls is very nice, very modern and spacious, very wheelchair accessible. Although, as you can see here, there are multiple steps to the actual falls. Now, the falls were actually closed during our visit, resulting from the 2015 volcano. There is a large wheelchair accessible restroom with a wide door opening in the visitor center, but it's hidden and not available to the general public. So go to the tourist tour desk and ask. And if you're adventurous, talk to the tourist tour people about traversing the Andes Mountains. You know, it's about 12 hours using 3 different ferries. There are no accessible ferry ramps or door openings, but rather they'll pick you up in your wheelchair and set you into the ferries. Now, no accessible restrooms on these ferries. Our tour also stopped at Puerto Varas, the City of Roses, which is a beautiful beach resort town of about 35,000. It's considered the gateway to Chile's beautiful Patagonia area. There's a fun arts and crafts area with great prices just off the main market square, which also had a few musicians playing local songs during our lunch break. You know, we just loved Puerto Varas. It is charming. If I can back up a moment, you know, when arriving at Puerto Montt at the pier, there's a flurry of activity with several tour companies trying to get your attention. Although the fast-talking organizers, who spoke a little English, said the tours and vehicles were accessible, no problem, the buses and vans were not wheelchair accessible. The vans were relatively new, air-conditioned, really quite nice, just not accessible. You know, they had to pick me up from the wheelchair and sort of throw me into the back of the van at each stop. You know, if I were to do this again, I'd probably just be firm and ask for a sedan or a taxi where the transfer to the vehicle would be easier on everyone. As a side note, if you're looking for an accessible hotel in Puerto Montt, I'd suggest you calling the Holiday Inn. It's located in a large, relatively new Ripley shopping complex in the background there with the Twin Towers. You know, I only drove by this hotel and did not enter, but I was told it occupies several floors. It's right downtown on the square, it's situated on the waterfront in a very level area with fabulous views. And if you're looking for an accessible hotel in Puerto Varas, I suggest you call the Radisson. Again, I only drove by this hotel and did not enter, but it looks relatively new and is situated in the heart of the downtown area on the waterfront in a very level area. It's located across the street from the casino. Overall, although the transport wasn't too accessible, our visit to Puerto Varas, the Lake District, and the National Park with views over the snow-capped mountains in northern Patagonia, it was fabulous. You will love it. Roll on, travelers!